What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Ryan Moody, Jimmy Smith, our MMA Show. We promised you. We promised you and made a commitment to you that when news broke, we would be here to cover it. And news broke this morning. You always know it's news, right? It's casual news, as we'll devolve into here. When you have Conor McGregor, M-A-C, trending. That's how you really know. That's how you really know.
That is true.
You're in
CONNORER.
Yeah. You're into the shenanigans when Conor McGregor sleeping is actually trending on Twitter. That, what can you do? But here's the thing. And, me and Jimmy don't argue a whole lot. We may start down that path here. But with Conor McGregor, it's kind of a blurry line, okay? Because we've seen so much. But the reality is, what he does, unless it involves his fighting, or puts a consequence on whether he can or cannot fight. His free time, right, exactly. Right. Throwing dollies, being arrested for bar fights, those are separate. Those impact in a tangible way his ability to fight. Aside from that, who he spends his free time with and how he spends his free time, as long as no one's being injured, right? It's none of my business. It's really none of anyone else's business. And however juicy the topic may be, however incriminating the video may appear, he needs to be the one that worries about tempering his risk. Is this a good decision? Is this a bad decision? As a man, he makes those determinations. We can judge them, but I just don't know that I want to spend my whole day, especially when they made a huge signing yesterday with Manny Pacquiao that apparently is just being glossed over here, worrying about who Conor McGregor may or may not have slept with. Awkward silence, Jimmy Smith.
Look, here's the issue for me. And I 100% agree with you. I thought you were going to continue. That's why I was silent for a second. But here's the issue to me. His personal life is his business. Any infidelity is between him and his girlfriend or wife. It has nothing to do with us, and that's his problem. The issue that should concern fight fans a little bit is the new Conor McGregor. I'm a more mature guy. I've learned a lot. I'm not making the mistakes I used to make. I'm not partying the way I used to. I'm a different man. That is not the image of a guy sleeping with this woman who clearly has her phone on her and can expose him and ruin his career or ruin his personal life. Certainly won't ruin his career. That shows an appalling lack of judgment. That's dumb to put yourself in that situation, being who you are. So fight fans can be worried that, oh, maybe this guy's judgment, if you bought the kind of the reform story that's been sold before the Cowboy fight, that's the only real question. Is the judgment we were sold about I'm not doing the stupid stuff I used to do. That story doesn't make sense with this. That is countered by this event. Now, I don't know the details. You don't know the details. The video I saw broke down pretty well the time frame, because the song that's playing in the background that this woman is lip syncing to while she's doing the selfie video was released January, I think, of last year. So it's within the last year. And the thing to me is, within the last year, we've been sold this I have better judgment now. I'm not who I used to be. Now, we don't know when in last year this video was taken. We're not even sure it's Conor McGregor, although it does look like him. It does have the watch. The video does a pretty good job of breaking down that it probably is Conor McGregor. The issue is the judgment. If he can be dumb enough to do this, he can be dumb enough to do other stuff that has cost him fights, that has led him to legal trouble, right? So, hey, I'm not drinking like I used to. Well, a mistake like this is usually the result of drinking a little too much. I don't know once again, I don't know the details. I don't know anything about it. But these questions pop up, and I think they're valid for fight fans. Like, look, you need to show, we're worried about your judgment already. And now something like this happens.
Let me ask you this. If this was a decision you had to make. You had something that we can at least attest to be incriminating against someone. Would you not wait until the optimal time to try to release this, or, I hate to say it, possibly blackmail the individual into not releasing it? We all know the best time for any type of negotiation for this would have been last month. Conor is back in the spotlight. He's thrust into the media. If there was a time where maybe this person, who clearly we can say filmed this with the intent of at least making it known who she was with and where that individual was, if there was any time where she was going to try to profit from this to the maximum capability, it would have been last month. So how do we know this wasn't filmed last year? She's held on to this and said, hey, listen, I'm going to wait till your star gets as bright as it can get again, and you can either meet my demands or I'll just put out this video. Because clearly it seems like this was shot with the intention of her releasing it at some point, but as you said, we truly don't have a context as to when this was taken, and we also, to be fair, we don't really know that it's him, although I would say, based on video evidence, it's nearly improbable for me not to believe it's him. And in really the only court that matters here, that of public opinion, I would say even the most, hardcore of Conor fans are going to have a really hard time saying, hey, yeah, no, that's not him. The blurriest of inverted selfie cam videos still makes this relatively clear that it's him.
Yeah, that's the issue. And also, it's one of those things where why would she bother to show that she's sleeping with a guy who looks kind of like Conor McGregor and wears his watch and has his back tattoo? I mean, this was clear, as you pointed out, she clearly went to, a little bit of effort to show who she was with. You don't do that if it's a nobody. So it's, all the indication is that it's Conor McGregor. And we're going forward with the assumption it is. Now, something could come out that proves us wrong. That's fine. Everything you're saying is correct, but we don't have any context. We don't know what's getting on. It could be a side piece who got burned and went, fine, F you or something. I mean, you don't know. You have no idea what the deal is. And in the age of social media, this is the risk for anybody who is famous, who commits an indiscretion in their private life. And let me make 100%, it's their private life, right? He didn't commit a crime. This was not something he put out in public. This was not put out by him. This is his private life. And so we don't know the background at all. It's just, put yourself in that position for a second, Ryan. You're a famous person. You're having sex with a woman who isn't your wife, assuming this is all what we think it is. You're having sex with someone who is not your wife or girlfriend, and you fall asleep and she has a camera. That's not really that bright, is it?
No, but
that's not smart.
At the same time, if that was you or me, and you had let's be honest, you had the money to make this go away, you either, one, try to make this go away, or number two, you get out in front of this, maybe not publicly, right? What rationale did he have to publicly come out and deal with this before it came out? Well, what do you expect him to do? Come out and say, hey, listen, last year I made a poor decision in my sexual life, and a video may or may not be released that depicts this, but I just want to let you guys know that it's already been taken care of. I've already discussed it with my family. There's no concerns. Just be mindful a video could come out. There's no way that he can deal with this. If anything, we don't even know that, because, again, his personal life is truly just that, his personal life. We don't know that he hasn't personally dealt with this, and that we, or not really you and I, because I think the undertone of this video should be trying to mitigate what and when we choose to discuss with fighters. The fact that some of the media and fans are making this into something much larger than it may even be in his own personal life is a big part of the problem here.
Right. His girlfriend may already know about this. They have buried the hatchet, whatever. Maybe she's okay with it. I don't know. You don't know. Nobody knows. The point I'm trying to make is not about whether he would get out in front of this or anything like that, is if, and I'm saying if, at the time, this was an indiscretion he didn't want anyone to know about. I have heard stories about rich people in his position who won't screw anybody without an NDA. Right? Who literally have a document that, if you publish video of this, I will sue you for everything you own. I know, I've heard those stories of, and by the way, this doesn't cover sexual assault, doesn't cover a crime. If you have consensual sex with somebody, they don't do it without an NDA. They don't do it without an NDA. Without something of, okay, there are no phones in the room. Stuff like that. Judgment things, where this could maybe be a problem later. That's what I'm talking about in terms of the one thing, once again, that should concern fans is this is a guy who has been talking about how his judgment has gotten better. How he's not drinking like he used to. He's not making the mistakes he used to. And so this is just another an example of, God, maybe he's still making those poor decisions. Maybe he's not thinking ahead. Maybe he's not, the way you pointed out, look, how could a guy with his financial resources end up in this position? That's an excellent question. An excellent question. And if it didn't occur to him, or, he just fell asleep with this, it shows once again that that tendency Conor might still have to act first and think later. That's the only part of this, I think, that should concern fans is, man, this is a guy who had told us he had cleaned up his act. And not cleaning up his act in a personal way is very different than a professional way or a legal way, but it can show the same judgment. And I think that's the only issue to me.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that something like this coming out is something that's only going to kind of fuel the fire for those that are negative against Conor? Or is this something that, if it truly is him, and perhaps it is Conor, two ends, McGregor, MAC, who knows? But do you feel like this is either something that, the people that aren't sold on that new Conor, quote unquote, if you will, are just going to fuel arguments with? Or do you think this is something that even the most purist of Conor McGregor fans and supporters have no way of not looking at it and saying, yeah, there's a lot of things that I'll go with, but I can't agree with this. You can justify a lot of things, but this is something I'm not willing to stand for. Do you feel like there's a line here where, unlike, some other things, with the Dolly, we've all been there where we've had to defend a friend and probably took things too far. There's a lot of people that draw the line very, very sharply with infidelity because, listen, in this world, most people have dealt with this at some point in their life, one way or another, maybe not to this degree, but this is an emotion and a feeling that resonates with everyone that maybe we don't always have Conor McGregor's issues coming up with. We all don't know what it's like to own a whiskey line, right?
Well, number one, if you don't like Conor or you're not buying the reformed Conor, yeah, I'm already seeing people that are like, see, told you he's not a better person than that and all this stuff. I'm already seeing that stuff. The infidelity part, the problem with that is we have no idea what the nature of their relationship is. We have no clue. No clue. Maybe she doesn't give a shit. I don't know. Maybe they have an open relationship. Maybe she can. We don't know. A person's personal relationship is their business and no one else's. Period. So have an outsider come in and tell you, oh, this is horrible and this is that. Hey, look, that's between him and his girlfriend. That's it in terms of that. In terms of the Conor isn't the guy who's reformed and feeling and acting better and all these things. That's already happening. If you don't like Conor McGregor, this just reinforces the fact that he hasn't turned over a new leaf. And we're going to get that. And we're going to get a lot of that. But oh my God, infidelity is the one line I can't cross. Okay, but that, fidelity means loyalty, right? And his loyalty to his girlfriend and wife, we don't know what that is. We're not sure what their rules are and what the deal is. We don't know. We have no right to say that. in my opinion.
I agree completely. And with that, we will welcome your opinions and feedback. We appreciate you guys listening to this, and we will be back very shortly with more comments.